Why do hammerhead sharks have heads as strange as shovels? About 450 million years ago, sharks first appeared on Earth in a variety of forms, including a group with a shape so special that it makes everyone wonder: sharks with heads as flat and long as hammers. This species is called hammerhead sharks, one of the most bizarre-looking creatures in the ocean. Instead of having a sharp head like most fish species helping to reduce water resistance when swimming, hammerhead sharks have a horizontal airplane wing right on their face. Many scientists once thought that this part of the head acted as a pair of wings to create lift, helping the sharks to easily float in the water without having to swim continuously. But the reality may be more complicated and interesting, because this head can also help them swim faster than normal sharks when changing direction. So, what does this strange head bring to hammerhead sharks? Its story is a wonderful combination of evolution physics, electromagnetic sense, and the art of hunting. Hammerhead sharks, also known as hammerhead sharks, are one of the most distinctive groups of sharks in the ocean. Although they belong to the shark family, they do not have the familiar elongated shape, but have a flat, wide head that extends to both sides like a hammer, making it impossible to confuse them with any other species. According to paleontological research, the ancestors of sharks appeared about 450 million years ago, older than dinosaurs. Over hundreds of millions of years of evolution, a series of shark species have appeared and become extinct, but the hammerhead group only appeared relatively recently, about 20 million years ago. This means that compared to classic sharks, such as white sharks or tiger sharks, hammerhead sharks are a young evolutionary branch but have an extremely different morphology. Currently, scientists have identified about 9 species of hammerhead sharks with different sizes and widths of the head. Notably, some species, such as the winghead shark, have a head that is nearly half the length of the body, something never seen in any other shark species. The strange thing is that this seemingly unscientific hammerhead design does not hinder movement in the water. On the contrary, it is the result of evolution to optimize many special survival and hunting abilities, which the following parts of the video will continue to explain. According to this hypothesis, the hammerhead's flattened, extended head acts like an airplane wing in the water. As the shark moves, the head creates a slight lift, allowing it to maintain its altitude in the water without having to constantly swim hard to maintain its position. This is important because unlike many bony fish that have air bladders to regulate, buoyancy sharks are cartilaginous fish. They don't have a bladder and need to move constantly to avoid sinking. By having a flat wing-like head, the hammerhead can save a lot of energy, especially when swimming slowly or when it needs to stay still in the water column to stalk prey. Biologically, this is a huge advantage. Energy is vital for active predators like sharks. However, it is worth noting that this lifting wing hypothesis is not yet conclusive. Although it has been proposed for a long time and has a clear physical basis, recent studies have shown that the role of the head is much more complex. In the next section, you will discover a surprising new hypothesis. Hammerheads are not just for buoyancy, but also help sharks accelerate and change direction extremely quickly when hunting. A discovery that could change the way we understand this strange shark. While the lift hypothesis is still being debated, a new line of research has unexpectedly revealed another function of the hammerhead, enhancing the ability to change direction and accelerate when hunting. The discovery comes from a study published in the journal Scientific Reports in September 2023 by biologist Clive Phillips and colleagues, opening up a whole new perspective on the movement mechanism of hammerhead sharks. In this study, scientists created 3D models of the shark heads of 8 hammerhead shark species and 3 common shark species for comparison. They then used computational fluid dynamics, CFD simulations, to measure swimming performance in specific situations. The surprising result when it comes to changing direction, for example, making sharp turns up or down, hammerhead sharks are able to accelerate faster and more efficiently than common sharks? This is because the wide head acts like a natural hydraulic rudder. When the hammerhead tilts its head up or down, the unique shape of its head helps to quickly redirect the water flow, creating additional thrust, allowing the shark to swim more flexibly without having to use as much force from its tail or fins. This is an extremely important advantage when hunting fast and agile prey such as squid herring or sardines. Notably, the larger the head of a hammerhead species, the more pronounced its ability to accelerate when changing direction. For example, the winghead shark, with a head that is nearly half its body length, can turn so quickly and precisely that it can almost glide past its escaping prey. This explains why species with larger heads are more agile hunters, while smaller hammerheads are more likely to feed on slow prey such as crabs or octopuses. From an ecological perspective, this trait helps hammerheads find their own way in the fiercely competitive world of the sea. Instead of competing with other large sharks for food, they target prey that few other species have the speed and reflexes to hunt. This is a classic example of ecological specialization, where each species evolves to best suit its environment and prey. In addition, the ability to turn quickly provides another survival advantage, avoiding predators. In the ocean, not only sharks hunt, but young sharks themselves can become targets of larger species. A precise, sharp turn can mean the difference between survival and being eaten. Clive Phillips's research has helped disprove the old view that a broad head makes hammerheads swim more slowly. On the contrary, the special shape becomes an extremely effective acceleration aid, a great example of nature's adaptability. One of the features that makes hammerhead sharks special is not only the shape of their flattened heads, but also the location of their eyes. They are located at the ends of the hammer. In many animals, the eyes are located at the front to create stereoscopic vision, while the eyes located on the sides help to expand the field of view. So, for hammerhead sharks, are the eyes located so far apart really effective? At first glance, many people think this is a disadvantage. In the natural world, predators such as lions, eagles, or sharks often have eyes facing forward, helping to accurately determine distance and locate prey. In contrast, herbivores, such as deer or rabbits, have eyes located on both sides to expand their field of view, detecting predators from a distance. Therefore, researchers once thought that hammerhead sharks had poor vision because their eyes were located at the ends so far apart, seemingly unable to coordinate to create accurate stereoscopic images. However, a 2009 study by Dr. Michelle McComb at Florida Atlantic University overturned this notion. In the experiment, the research team measured the visual field's angles of vision of many different shark species, including regular sharks and hammerhead sharks, such as bonnethead sharks, scalloped hammerhead sharks, and winghead sharks. The results surprised scientists. Hammerhead sharks not only did not have worse vision, but also possessed a larger visual overlap, also known as stereopsis, than regular sharks. Specifically, regular sharks such as lemon sharks only had a visual overlap of about 10-11 degrees. Meanwhile, bonnethead sharks had an overlap of up to 13 degrees. Scalloped hammerheads had 32 degrees, and the highest was the winghead shark, with an overlap of up to 48 degrees, more than 4 times that of regular sharks. Additionally, when hammerheads rotate their heads, the overlapping field of vision expands even more, allowing them to pull together the images from both eyes, a rare ability in the animal world. This means that instead of just seeing wide like herbivores, hammerheads can actually observe nearly 360 degrees around them while accurately locating prey thanks to their optimized stereoscopic vision. This is an extremely important advantage when hunting in complex environments such as coral reefs, or murky waters. Another important point is that hammerheads' eyes are not only based on perspective, but are also highly sensitive to light and movement. In marine environments, where light is low and visibility is limited, the ability to detect small movements from a distance is a vital factor. With the special position of its eyes, the hammerhead shark can observe the seabed more flexibly than other sharks and detect prey hiding or moving close to the ground. Thanks to the unique design of its eyes located at both ends of its hammer, the hammerhead shark has overcome the usual geometrical limitations and turned this seemingly disadvantage into an outstanding evolutionary advantage. This is a testament to the miraculous adaptation in nature, where a seemingly contrary shape is the perfect solution for the fight for survival. One of the most amazing superpowers of sharks, especially hammerheads, is electroreception. This isn't the ability to see or hear, but to sense the faint electrical signals emitted by other creatures. The secret lies in a special system called the ampullae of Lorenzini, a network of ultra-sensitive electroreceptors distributed mainly in the head region. These ampullae are tiny holes in the skin filled with gel channels and sensor cells. When another creature moves through the water, whether it's breathing, contracting its muscles, or simply having its heart beat, it generates tiny electrical currents. Sharks can detect these signals and pinpoint the source even when their prey is hiding under sand or in pitch-dark conditions. In hammerhead sharks, the number and density of ampullae of Lorenzini are significantly higher than in normal sharks thanks to their unusually wide heads. The larger the head area, the more electrosensory organs a hammerhead shark can arrange, increasing coverage and accuracy in scanning for prey. Experiments have shown that hammerhead sharks can detect voltages as small as 5 nanovolts ch-cm. That is smaller than the current from a leaking AA battery from several hundred meters underwater. To put this in perspective, if one battery were placed in the waters of Taiwan and another in the waters of Busan, South Korea, hammerhead sharks connected by a wire nearly 600 km long could still sense the tiny current flowing through. This makes them living underwater electrosensors thousands of times more sensitive than any modern electronic device made by humans. Thanks to this electrosensory ability, hammerhead sharks not only detect hidden prey, but also easily distinguish between real and fake movements. While many marine creatures use camouflage tactics or lie still to avoid detection, their hearts and muscles still generate electrical signals. And hammerhead sharks are not fooled. They find the right target and attack accurately. What is even more interesting is that the wide position of the ampullae on the head helps hammerhead sharks not only determine the presence of an electrical signal, but also deduce the direction and distance. With sensor points spread out on both sides, the hammerhead shark's brain can analyze the time and intensity of the signal arriving on each side of the head, thereby creating a 3D map of the electric field, much like biological sonar. This electrosensory ability not only serves to hunt but also helps hammerhead sharks navigate the vast ocean. Many studies have shown that sharks can detect the Earth's magnetic field and use it as a natural compass, navigating with currents or finding their way across thousands of kilometers of ocean without getting lost. When observing the strange shape of hammerhead sharks, many people easily think perhaps this species has gradually evolved in the direction of increasingly wider heads to increase hunting advantages. However, modern genetic research has come to a surprising conclusion. Hammerhead sharks have not evolved in the direction of larger heads, but on the contrary, their heads are getting smaller over time. This surprising discovery comes from the work of geneticist Dr. Gavin Naylor and colleagues at the University of Charleston, USA. In a study published in 2010, the research team sequenced the mitochondrial DNA of 8 modern hammerhead shark species. By comparing the gene sequences, they were able to determine the evolutionary relationships between species, thereby tracing back the development history of this special group of sharks. Surprisingly, the oldest species in the hammerhead shark evolutionary tree is the one with the widest head, the winghead shark. From there, later evolutionary branches tended to gradually shorten the width of the head over time. In other words, the giant hammerhead was the original version, and gradually later generations shrink it to better suit the new living environment. Why does this happen? Scientists believe that it is the result of an evolutionary trade-off between biological benefits and energy costs. Although a wide head brings many benefits such as good electroreception, wide observation, fast direction changes, it also requires many physiological costs to form and maintain. The larger the head, the more complex the nervous system, the heavier the cartilage structure, the more time and energy the body needs to fully develop. Meanwhile, hammerhead sharks with smaller heads can mature faster, reach reproductive age earlier, and save a lot of energy. This is a big advantage in harsh environments where survival rates are low and food resources can be scarce. If sharks can pass their genes to the next generation sooner, they can still thrive without having a super-sized head. This hypothesis is supported by observations in the wild small hammerhead sharks, like bonnethead sharks have shorter lifespans and reproduce faster than large-headed species like winghead sharks. Meanwhile, winghead sharks, despite their extremely flexible hunting ability, grow slowly and are disadvantaged when the environment changes or food resources decrease. Thus, the evolution of hammerhead sharks is not simply a matter of bigger is better, but rather a process of optimizing between function and cost. It's safe to say that nature has always found a way to balance survival and reproductive efficiency, and hammerhead sharks are living proof of that principle. However, this is still an area of ongoing research. Scientists have not concluded that all hammerhead sharks will evolve towards a small head in the future. New environmental conditions, climate change pressures, or ecological competition could all change their evolutionary direction again. And who knows, in millions of years the oceans may see the return of giant hammerheads, new versions adapted to a completely different world. So, the next time you see a picture of a hammerhead shark with a strange head, remember it's not a natural failure. On the contrary, it's the result of extreme perfection, an evolutionary masterpiece in the deep ocean, and the journey to discover this shark species is still very long. What do you think about this special hammerhead? How will hammerhead sharks change in the future? Leave a comment below and share your views. Don't forget to subscribe to Cosmic Y so you don't miss out on any more exciting discoveries.